So in spirit of mischief, as the show is positive mischief,
Oh, right.
we're gonna bring up our jester,
Okay.
and our jester hails from New Orleans. We're going to he's got some questions in there. We'll pull some questions out at random,
Okay.
and we're gonna see how you think on your feet, creatively, of course.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah. Nervous, but let's go.
All right, great. Nothing to be afraid of. These are fun, easy, just no nothing to worry about here. Although anybody from school who watches it now, 10, 15 years ago, is gonna be like, oh, he really the world's never very good at his feet anyway.
Yeah.
We're gonna prove them wrong, okay?
Right.
All right. What's something in your field you're tired of seeing? This could be practical, it could be habits, belief systems, tired cliches. What are you tired of seeing?
Can I see the question as well?
Yeah, see,
Just
he's a visual guy.
yeah, I'm a very visual guy. In your field that I'm tired of seeing, that's really interesting. Oh gosh. Yeah, I know tired seeing or something like that. Like recently when I met with students, like going to graduate students, it was such a mixed bag of a crowd where like what I was tired of seeing was that like one person was presenting like an app design concept for like senior project and basically just try and make it look just as clean and minimal like every other app on our phone and stuff. And my fear there is that these young designers are creating or developing an aesthetic that just feels so like monotone to the rest of the tech landscape, if that makes sense. You know, I feel like visual design right now is lacking a little bit because honestly, a lot of emerging design, people who are going into UX and whether product design, whatever the title we're calling it nowadays,
Yeah, right.
they're more focused on like the research and lo-fi and interaction, which is great, but a lot of them are just lacking in that like simple visual design foundation of just like pushing the typography or pushing the color theory behind their work or composition and stuff like that. I just remember for me, like I spent a lot of my free time when I was an undergrad just like dabbling in Photoshop and just like really doing UI work that I felt like unrealistic when it comes to development, but I feel like the era I was coming into, a lot of us were just like trying to push the visual design of the digital space. Yes, engineers and dev might have hated us, but then it showed that like
too bad.
Yeah, like through prototyping, like we were able to make visual experiences look so much appealing, but because of like criticism to those of us that are like visual designers, like gotta be more realistic to what can be coded, this and that. Now we're getting to a more boring looking interactions, and so for me, like I find very like it's far and few where I get to see a visual like both the UX and the visual design, like both those who made a brand or the experience on the web or on the app just look really stellar.
And work together
and like create more greater brand impression. I
always wonder if that's the thing with students, that there's a fear.
Yeah.
Fear of pushing it, and you can usually tell right away. You see something, you're like, this one's not afraid.
Yeah.
And I like that. That's the ones that I want. The ones that aren't afraid.
Yeah. And I'm also not saying no, like don't get, because there was another student work I saw and I was it was a website but I got too artsy because the composition wasn't there yet. And so like I guess a recommendation just like young designers or current design, whatever, like even for me, I'm personally trying to find this too. Just try to keep my visual design skills up to par and learn different new techniques, you know, and try to execute them within our tools. You know, I started using Photoshop and then the Sketch. Now we're in the Figma age. It was maybe Figma was around forever, or another design tool will come around and stuff like that. But hopefully that made sense. Good. It's like tired seeing. I think that also goes back to practice or habit for me as well.
Well, I think they all
Yeah.
kind of go into it,
Yeah.
like it's a trend. I think it's probably one that we're going to see for a while.
Yeah.
And I think it does come back to fear. I think it's easy. I think it's also tried and true.
Yeah.
So I think I think we're gonna always see that, but I think you're right. I think there is this idea like, oh, well, it's gotta be clean because this one's clean and they're the best,
Yeah. And I think like it makes sense that emerging designers look at the current apps, they find a portfolio of these UX designers and like such clean, minimal design because they work at Google or the Apples or the Microsoft. But like, I hope that visual design in the space of digital UX become more expressive soon.
Yeah.
You know.
I love that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's see what else we have. What is your superpower?
Oh my gosh.
Do you have a superpower?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
I hope it's a superpower. For me, just like, I have too many creative outlets.
Where you have too many creative outlets.
Yeah.
Or you say
I do too many creative things.
Okay.
Just before hopping on this call, like we're talking about your guitars and stuff, and this and that. So I mean, some history is that before I became a designer, when I was like 12, 13, my brothers and I, we thought, well, we wanted to form a band. Our older brother got me a electric guitar, got my brother a drum set, got my other brother a microphone, and the three of us. And by the way, I'm a triplet, so
All right.
three of me in the world out there. So just if you ever see me in a while, just I don't know, remember this, all these features and this haircut, you know. And so in high school, we were, so my earliest like creative passion was music.
Okay.
I was before the guitar, actually, I was a clarinetist. I played the clarinet for 5 years in like my middle school, elementary to middle school orchestra. And so like learned how to sight read and all the sheet music stuff. I played in like the orchestra in Philly. And then I thought orchestra was dumb, and then I became rock star because of MTV and stuff like that, and so like my brothers and I wanted to form a band and things, and that all that's happening while in the daytime two of us were going to an art design architecture high school, and so at least in the daytime we were being inspired, being taught all these different mediums of arts. Architecture or sculpture or all sorts of fine arts. My first time delving into graphic design and stuff. By the way, I didn't think graphic design was actually for me because I remember crashing the software as a software in high school.
That's cool.
But I'm saying all this because like growing up, I've been interested in so many different creative things. And so I thought music was going to be a thing for a long time. And so my brothers and I just put in so much our 10,000 hours to be better guitarists, and we wanted to be like a hardcore punk or while on Sundays we play for the church crowd and stuff.
Well, it's funny you say that. There's actually a big, you see it often with musicians come out, they're like, oh yeah, singing Mama's Gospel Choir, kind of thing.
That's like a
very interesting, very common story. Yeah,
it's a very common story that you're as most musicians, like, what was your aim? It's like, I played at church. I played at church.
Yeah.
They just need a guitar player and they need someone to play for the kids on Thursday nights, Friday nights, and this and that. But I really do appreciate. I'm thankful for that end for me. But when I was faced with reality at 17, 18 for college, at least my parents just like, you have to get a degree. Just like being immigrants, that was just kind of part of the American path. It's just like, get a degree. If you want to do music, do it after college when you kind of fail a career or something like that. And so, then I picked design and then focused more on design. But now that I graduated 10 something years ago, I got my time back after studying graphic design at the corporate. I'm back into both doing music and design. I'm not in a band or anything like that, but at least when I'm not designing, I listen to a lot of music. I make music. I love going to live shows. The reason I say that's my superpower, I think we need to be just interested in a lot of things. I think that every part of you kind of fuel whatever is your day job or inspire you and keep you zealous throughout the day. And I feel like for me, since I'm so passionate about art and design, and I also do hands-on lettering for my Instagram, You know, I love doing typography, drawing letters when I get a chance to, like, yeah, sketches.
Well, you mentioned Instagram.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram handle? We'll
It's-
get you 2 new followers.
Yeah, it's very straightforward. It's @_ Raksa RAKSA. So
That's easy. We'll put on the bottom anyway.
yeah, and so yeah, and even at work, I spent the day slicing dicing a video, and so like I got into photography and videography a couple of years ago, and so as a hobby, now I get to use it for work, and so I feel like my superpower is just being curious and trying new things.
That's
You know.
hugely important.
Yeah, I think it's
Curiosity to me is
yeah.
one of the most important superpowers I think a creator can have.
Yeah, I don't know. This is like another question of like, do you have an irrational fear? And I'll put this question to you. Well, one of my irrational fear was actually I thought after like 25, I can't learn even more things. For some reason, when I was
really?
younger, I thought like, oh my gosh, I need
When
like
you get to 25, like that's it.
like your
That's
brain is like
brain's full.
your brain's full and like can't learn more stuff. You just like it went out the other ear. And so I think when I was very
Maybe replace some stuff, maybe.
yeah.
But yeah, no,
I
that's
remember being 20, I was just like, we're in college, like, oh crap, I need to learn as much things as I can. Or else like, I'll become obsolete after 25, where like I get stuck in like whatever. But
And the funny part about it is that's far from it.
yeah,
Like, we're always learning something from your job to your personal life to your relationships. You're always learning something new.
I know how I had that irrational fear in my early 20s, but that was my irrational fear.
Yeah, I'm in my 40s and I'm still learning stuff about myself as a human being. I'm like,
same.
oh man, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I have to do this now. I guess better to do it now than when I'm 60. But
Yeah, right.
you know. All right, so I like that. That's a good one. That's what we have here. Okay, if you could wear one outfit for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, God.
One outfit for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, man. Actually, I like this question a lot. I would wear, like, honestly, something similar to this. Like, but like like a denim jacket, that's rugged. I got this yesterday at Target.
Nice.
But it's a black denim jacket that's a bit rugged with all my pins. My undershirt will be a simple button up, like maybe red solid. I also enjoy I don't do this often, but I actually enjoy wearing ties. So I have this. I have a go-to like black skinny tie that I like to wear. Can go along with just black denim jeans and
That's classic.
yeah, and my black and gold Vans. I wouldn't mind wearing that for the rest of my life. You know.
Get buried in that too.
Yeah, I could get buried in that. Yeah. My color palette with my outfit is actually pretty predictable.
Yeah.
Like, and then going back to being a triplet, we're actually color coded. You know?
Okay.
And so
So you're the black one.
I'm like the red one.
Oh, you're the red one.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, red is my main color. The other one is blue, and the other one is black, green, white, whatever he picks on. Whatever.
Wait. Why did he get to be the one that got the change?
Well, growing up, he initially was yellow.
Okay.
But when it came to shopping and things, yellow became just too bright for him. It's like it's just too bright of a color. And then he switched to white, and then you get, if you wear white, you just get anything. It just get dirty too quickly.
Real quick.
And then he went to black in high school, and I was like, okay, it's staying there. And then he's like, I need to add some pop of color to my life, and so that's when he's like, I'm gonna wear whatever color I want. But he'll stick to nowadays. He'll stick to the blacks, and I think he has branched out to the purple. And maybe some green here and there because we're from Philly, Eagles.
Yeah.
But the blue one, the red one, red me, whatever. We stayed to our color palette, and so like I've tried to wear anything red on me. So again, find us on the street. Just make sure you
go by color
with red.
There you go. Go by color. I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What's the last book that you've loved?
Oh gosh, last book I've loved. I don't read a lot of books, to be honest. And when I do read books, I read a lot of design theory books, but I don't want to mention any of those, to be honest, with this group. I want to think about what kind of nonfiction books.
Why? But why wouldn't you want to bring a design theory book up here?
I don't.
To me, it's this perfect insight into why you think the way you do creatively.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That just came up. That would come off. Would that be too nerdy of me?
No, this is a nerdy show.
Okay, because
Let's have at it.
Well, like
What's the last book you loved? If it was a
That doesn't
design,
love because like I
if it's a
read
design theory
yeah.
book that you loved, I want to hear all about this.
yeah your design theory or creativity book like the one I've enjoyed design related or design leadership related. One is the Making of a Manager by Julie Zhao,
Okay.
former design leader at Facebook. She started out like very low on the totem pole, early Facebook days, and worked all the way up to be a VP of design over I think maybe 10 years. But her book really kind of captured her journey from being just like a computer science like intern. And then switching to design inside Facebook, and then becoming the design leader at Facebook. And now she's kind of doing her own endeavors now. But for anyone who want to become a design manager, a design leader in the workspace, Making Up a Manager by Julie Zhao is great. That's a great book. Another one that's kind of like org design or just like culture is the iconic Creativity Inc.
Okay.
The one about Pixar and their team. I forgot the author. It's the first name Ed or something. I
don't like it right now.
But Creativity Inc. It's the book covered with Buzz Lightyear. But that one's great. I love the Pixar movies and just like okay how are they successful from org perspective, from internally, especially like we're talking about Amtrak, right? Like how can we output external things so great? And I think it does start from the inside. And so
Absolutely.
Creativity Inc. was just a great book just to see, but I think it admits like their success and their flaws.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I like a great book is that it shows just the imperfection of ourselves and why go on stage and just act like you have everything perfect. I think like
there's vulnerability in
that's what I love vulnerability. And so at least those two books like come to mind that I've enjoyed, that I've loved.
Those are great answers. I love that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. See, there's something about look, I think if you're talking about being a design manager, you're talking about setting a culture for yourself. Both of those two books touch on that.
Yeah.
In very different ways, but there's this idea of, I think at the end of it, you still gotta be human first.
Yeah.
You still gotta be human, and you gotta recognize the person across from you is also human.
Yeah.
So how can I get the most out of them? Well, and then maybe the question is, how would I want to get the most out of myself? How would I want somebody to approach me to get the most out of myself? It's gonna be different because we're all different personalities.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna look at people first and foremost as a human being, then I think you have the opportunity to really connect with them and really get them to shine. Yeah. And I just think that's and part of that is being vulnerable. Part of that is just be like, look, I don't know how to do this, or I tried this way and it failed, and it really sucks. I need some help. Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah. And I think even if they see managers doing that, you start to build this rapport where they're like, oh, okay, there's some freedom here. Yeah. Like I'm not going to, give up on my responsibilities, but I'm also not going to just throw in the towel if I'm really struggling on something. I need to be able to have that connection, the human way, which I think is part of like why I think being in person is so important. Yeah. Big time. Yeah. And so like getting to do this in person, now after the first, year, season or whatever it was where I was all remote with people, I just think it's a big, you see people different. You get to interact different. There's an energy that you get from being in person. I think as a designer and a creative, we feed off of each other. Yeah, the ability to walk over behind somebody's shoulder and give a 10-second back and forth. You don't do 10-second Zooms. Yeah. You just don't. There's no such thing.
And like as a facilitator, it's tough. Like during the pandemic and trying to do virtual facilitation and workshop was hard. And gauging people's interest just via thumbnail was also hard. And I think us being in front of our screens, it's very easy for us to just shift tab, go to the other app and check. Yeah. Or like turn off that camera and just check your phone, this and that. And but like in person, like you get a better vibe, like mystical vibe of one another. And
absolutely.
And just really much better collaboration. I think there's still a time and place for like when there is need for virtual sesh to be a suspect for other people, but like there's I'm glad to be back in person. I do like collaborating with people in an in-person capacity, and even getting to know people in person.
It's given us the opportunity to have remote and hybrid, if you will. Yeah. It's given us flexibility, showing that we can do that. But I think if from a creative world, if we can be in person, let's try to be in person. We don't have to always be in person. that you don't have to be at every meeting. You don't have to be at every thing. But I think it also creates a camaraderie there.
I think it does. Yeah.
That we didn't have for a while.
Yeah.
You know, I think that there was this idea that, you know, you could work with anybody.
Yeah.
No matter what they believe, no matter who they voted for, no matter why they did what they did, no matter why they chose to wear red instead of black, and that's not my favorite color, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Because we had a goal. We're going to accomplish something for our company.
Yeah.
Well, then, once that went away, whereas like I was a person and I was siloed with other people that believed exactly like me, then I think it just became this really difficult opportunity to break through. It's like, well, no. This is my group of people. We all believe the same, and you don't believe the same as us. So now we're going to be difficult about things, and that makes it really hard to get things done.
Yeah.
And I think being in person helps us break through that because like, I have to actually be across from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to rub shoulders with you and maybe touch you. Like
you can't just like end call.
Yeah. Right.
No, we're going to be
yes.
during a break, all floating around in our desks, grabbing a water or coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah.
Huge. All right. Let's see what else we have in there. What is your opinion of Disneyland? After all, one's opinion of Disneyland is very.
To be honest, I've never been.
Oh,
I've never been. I've never been.
Okay. Do you want to go?
I do want to go actually. Like my opinion about Disneyland is that I want to experience it.
Now, why do you want to experience it?
It just.
Is it good marketing?
It's actually not the marketing. It's actually all my friends, and they're like posting their family trips at Disneyland. Oh yeah, and remind me, there's a difference between Disneyland and Disney World, right?
Disneyland is the original one in California.
Okay.
Disney World is the big giant one they built in Orlando.
Okay. Yeah, I was not thinking about the Florida one. I was thinking about.
So I've never been to the Florida one either. I've
Okay.
only done Disneyland.
Okay.
Born in California, we did all that stuff.
Okay. You know. Yeah, no, so like, I think I got put on the list. Yeah.
Put on the list?
Yeah. That's like, I don't, my opinion about Disneyland is like, I don't hate it, but I do want to experience it at least once in my life.
Yeah.
Especially like going back to like, you know, I guess.
I bet there's a couple Corcoran folks out there in the West Coast.
Oh, I bet you. Yeah. And I was gonna say, like, even from just like, I'm just curious from a customer experience perspective, you know, like going back to Amtrak, and I guess I don't talk my brain in work, but like hospitality, and you know, how do we treat people? You know, what is the Disneyland way of hospitality? And so I would love to go just to experience all that. And I think there might, from technology, I think I've heard there's some fascinating technology over there. You know,
it's quite the experience.
Yeah.
It's quite the experience.
Are they the one with the wristband or no? Or
that I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I don't remember.
I know Disneyland, Disney World. I remember one of them having like this wristband thing that you kind of use to go around.
Yeah, I've heard it. It's been a few years for me.
Okay.
Since I've been, but I've heard they've upped their technology game and all that stuff. So who knows what it is now.
And yeah, their innovation or what they call it, the Imaginative Studio or whatever.
Right.
Imagineers
or something. Yeah.
But I've seen case studies like they put on some really cool, interesting work and stuff. And so if applied in Disneyland, I want to try it out. But yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Disneyland, here he comes. All right, we'll do one more.
Maybe have pass. Oh no, I was going to ask you to rat someone out if someone disliked it. No.
You can watch them. I mean, I put every answer out there. So.
Okay. Yeah. So it's.
Oh yeah. No. If they don't like it, I expect.
Yeah.
I expect honest, creative answers. If you don't like it, you just say you don't like it. So here we go. I think we'll end on this one. This is a good one.
Okay.
How do you know when you're done with something?
Oh shoot. I don't know, because I actually have like a personal mantra that like, I think humans or myself, let's say, we're just always gonna be a work in progress.
Yep.
But I also don't say it as if like it's sad. Like, oh my gosh, I need to be better constantly, and I'm never gonna be better. Like, mom, that doesn't improve me. No, it's just I think there's always something. I guess because we talk about learning, talk about growing and maturing. I think we're never gonna stop learning or trying something new. When am I done being a creative person? Let's say, let's another spin to the question. Like, I don't think ever. You know, I hope to always keep on creating. If I ever retire from whatever job I'm at in my retiring age, I hope after that I just go on make more stuff or
make music,
make music or make art. Even like past project in school, like I've done it where I go open up an old Photoshop file that I did like 10 years ago. Like, let me bring it back and then
cool.
then remix it. You know, because that, you know, I think even as a creative person, all our work you might be satisfied done about, and ready to publish on your Instagram. I think we can always look back at old work and like, I could remix this, I could redo it. And so I don't think I'm ever gonna be done with anything I ever do, or a lot of aspect of my life. And I'm happy about that. I'm happy to be a work in progress, and going with the flow with it.
I think things are done when the deadline says it's done.
Yeah.
Like there does come a point where you have to call it done.
Yeah.
And get it out of the way
Yeah.
and move on to something else. But I think as creatives, like we're never really done with stuff. I mean, you hit it right in the head. You talk about going back to old projects 10 years, 15 years ago. And you're like, oh man, I want to tinker with this still.
Yeah.
Now there are those projects that you pull back up. You're like, I don't ever want to see you again.
No, actually, okay. There's a done for those.
There's a done for those.
There's definitely.
But you know, it's not really done then.
Yeah.
It's that you probably want to start over with it completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's still never really done.
Yeah.
Like you can be annoyed with it, and maybe it was a professor that had you annoyed with it, or maybe it was a coworker that had you annoyed with it. But or a client even, where you know what, I just want this to be done. I don't want this.
There's definitely, I guess, there's some exception where there's definitely a done for a project that just need to finish this project to pay the bill to open up time for something else.
Right. Yeah. But it's hard. It's hard to see something and call it done. It just is. We want to keep futzing with it, we tinker with it, we want to tweak this here. We really want to. I just think our brains are always wanting to go, and our other ones want to keep.
And I actually done this once, where 4 years ago I did a t-shirt design for a conference, and I was telling the executive director hey, I'm done with the design and this and that, and I handed it off to him. And what's funny that happened after is actually I showed it to my dad and my parents, and the design was a very a lot of detail that had these shapes, these diamonds, these diamonds that kind of fit in each other, and it was pseudo 2.5D. And when I showed it to my dad, he's like, I can't read any of it. And it felt like a jigsaw puzzle. It wasn't it was left to right. He was going up and down and adjacent, diagonal and stuff. I'm like, okay. And so I reworked that design and then made it more legible. And I actually, the second direction actually became something better that I was actually more satisfied to say done. And here you go, executive director. Print this on a shirt and put it on your pamphlets and stuff. Yeah. And so the lesson learned there is I could suit up focus group or something like that.
It does help to ask some people. Yeah. Ask some people who are really going to be honest, not going to stroke your ego or anything. That's it's nice, but it kind of looks like this. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I never thought about that. Yeah. Because at some point you do need to. We can't have yes men all around us. Yeah. You want to ask those people those questions. That reminds me, you talk about your parents. It reminds me of my first semester in college of doing motion design. Did the whole semester worth of work. I get my VHS, because we had VHSs, and then I take it home to my parents. Hey, look at what I did this semester. I plop it in, and I play it. And 30 seconds goes by, and it ends, and they go, is that it? That was really cool. Wait, so is there more though? Yeah. It's no, there's no more. That took me a whole semester to do that. What are you talking about? And it was this really just funny realization of all the work that goes into something. Yeah. So especially at that time you're learning and you're making mistakes, but I was so proud of it because I knew everything that went into it. Yeah. And they didn't. They're so proud because my parents, knew it took hard work, but their reaction was just priceless. Hey, wait, is that it? Yeah. There's more, right? That was your whole semester. Cool. Thanks. Thanks, dude.
Well, thankfully, at least the next assignment, next project, you could do more than 30 seconds and become their definition of, oh, this is actually done.
Well, now I run my own studio and it's cool and they get to see all kinds of stuff that's on TV and on pamphlets and this thing. So it's all been worth it, but man, it's a very funny first thing.
Those early years were rough.
I love it. I love it. This was a ton of fun. Yeah. I really had a blast. This was great. We didn't even get into the AIGA stuff that you do, so we'll do that another time. We'll come back. Totally. Redo these and I don't know. But I know that you got a lot going on there too. Yeah. Yeah. It's very cool. Yeah. So. Yeah. All right, buddy. I will let you get to it, and this is a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.